log in. Insert the username, password, and login. And click the registered. If you click the registered, you need fill up the registration form and then you can log in now to your account. And if you input a wrong password or username, the about image will be showed. And fill the username and email and password and registered. You can see you are registered successfully and click this and log in. Insert the username and your password and log in. And you can see this is secure area. And click log out, then log in. And you can see in the database that your username, password, and email will be stored on the database table on PHP by admin. Docs HTML. This code is the web browser receive instruction about the HTML version of the page B, the doc type declaration. The style, the connection between the currently documentation and external resources is signified by the link and tag. This code transfer every piece of text code and remark found in the designate file to the file that make use of to include statement. HPHP. This code is when a user submit a form on your web server, user enter data will be transferred that way to use code and to request to storing the data when the user submit. This code is data that has been retrieved from HTML form or database can be cleaned using this function. This code is a valid SQL string that can be utilized in a SQL statement in create using this function. This code is like in a username function. Same with username and email. Function it will request to storing the data input. This code is the date of resignation or made. And this code is used to make a request insert into the table. Name user that contains of the username, password, email, and TRN date, and make a result that will say you are registered successfully, and it will be show the link where you can log in. This code was cryptographic protocol called the message designed algorithm. It used to digital signature content preparation and also intended to be used digital signature application where are larger file to be compressed to ensure management before the encrypt with a private key, secret key under a public. And this code is it was the format of a login.
First, we need to start a session and connect the style.css into the login. And don't forget to require the database, and I set the username to pause and request in username and password. Make a request on username and password and select a series from users where username etc. is to get the username and password that you registered in the tables or registration form. And the password must be MD5 password. The MD5 is to takes the string as argument, transporting it to 32 characters of text. It retrieves the resultant value in the hexadecimal. And there will be a and there will be a function where the h3 is username or password is incorrect. This was to warn the user that the username and password they inputted was incorrect, so they need to fix it and be successfully logged in. And the form HTML code was used to create a form in the website that can be designed. And the not registered yet is mentioned or set in the paragraph below the login button. You just need to click the register here so that they don't have an account, and so that if they don't have an account they can register there. It will directly open the registration form.
Create a page with name dp.php. Database. Database host is localhost host and data server is a root. Password is just quotation. Database name is login system. This was is the part to determine that where about of database will connect the form. We need to mention this so that our input data will be stored to the database we'll desire to use. This code is was to use to determine whenever the MySQL was either functioning or not. It will make a notification to our website that it failed to connect to MySQL. Before you do anything else, that might be result in browser output for the user on your server and session must be start with session start. A session is an entirely concept from the server point of view change that happen to the session. Variable can only be accessible to your agent with when a request, get a post or etc. in made is made. This session is associated with generalized data which match the session super global variable content by default, so many changes to session will be immediately saved in your server's side PHP script as a file so you can restore it back into the memory or another PHP script. Use authentication is the process by which user uh, authenticate, authenticate using criteria number of key, token, or another credential. This authentication process will be successful completely if the user provide valid credential. The user will be allowed to use the system as a Thorazanized user after successfully verified their identity.
First, in the index.php, we need to include the authentication.php, and we need to set the title of the website of index.php to welcome home, and we need to connect the style.css into our index.php so that it will design like the form, and div class form has the body contains the paragraph welcome plus the username you input, and it will also has the paragraph this is secure area, where it's true because you can't open this index.php if you didn't put the correct username and password. And I set the a log out.php so that the user can exit the index.php form.
This section was to use exit a website. When the user click the logout will automatically to go to login form. That's why we use the header location login PHP. This was used to log out a website where you are logged in.
Body was to design the body of the form only. Font family Arial sans serif is to design the font text. Background image is the image you want to be the background of your website. Height is the height of the background image. Background position is center because this place where your background was either in the center and etc. Background repeat is used if you want to repeated your background or not repeated, because if you didn't put this, your background will be repeated to display like in one screen you will see multiple background. Background size is cover to make sure the background became a cover. Position is according to its normal position, setting the top, right, bottom, and left properties of a relatively positioned element will cause it to be adjusted away from its normal position. Clarifix is to make sure that you don't have to add additional markups. And A is mentioned because basically A would be the tag in HTML that you are selecting a tag inside the side nav. A hover is mentioned because you basically want to make the A has an underline. Form is used to make your form be designed. Wide is the wide of your form. Overflow is restricted and the rest of this content will be invisible. Margin can be configured to auto center the element within its container. Padding is used to create space around the content of an element inside any defined border. Border radius is used to circles the edges of an element's outer border. Transform enables you to move elements. And input was used to style the input type, and you can design it like in the body. Just add padding, color, background color, text shadow, font size, box shadow, border, border radius, margin, and error will occur when you entered wrong username or password. And I set it to be the red color, and each one was mentioned because it was to design to adjust the header of the form to make it in the center.